Okay, if you're out there making any kind of money with your video camera, there's gonna definitely be certain pieces of equipment that you're gonna pop up that you didn't think you needed that are going to be important, especially in today's day and age. And one thing that is something that has surprised me that I found myself needing more and more on set is actually a vlogging tripod. And you may ask, like, why would you need a little vlogging tripod for mostly action cameras and iPhones when you're not on set with Reds and everything like that? And the reality is just today, your client's need for content is so insatiable, you need to have every trick in your basket to help out you get a job and make your clients happy. And I've just discovered that doing behind the scenes footage, even like low-grade iPhone authentic footage like that, is something that really, really ups the game for the client and makes them happy. And you wanna have something that's super flexible, lets you go fast on the job, and doesn't distract from the main shoot at hand. And this is where a vlogging type tripod really, really comes in handy. Now, today what I'm gonna do is I wanna take a look here at this particular one right here. This is the Freewell Vlogpod. Now, full disclosure, Freewell did send me one of these out to review. I'm not being paid by this. I don't get to review it in any way, shape, or form. Freewell is just a great company to work with, and they sent me one of these out. They wanted to get my opinions on it, kind of put it through the paces, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm making a video about today for you. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these features to see if this could be something that may work for you in your kit. Now, the first thing that you're gonna notice about this Freewell Vlogpod is just the fact that it has kind of a really kind of innovative leg design here for the Vlogpod itself. And if you look here, it's sort of got this snake-like mentality to it. And what happened is they've actually put reinforced aluminum in there in all three legs, and it just kind of lets you get, look at that. You can bend this thing to get any shape you want. And what's good is this allows you to set it down, maybe get unconventional angles. It's really, really good at if you have a post or something, you can wrap this around the post, you can hang this or something. Just that kind of serpentine type quality is really, really nice. The other thing about it is it's just really lightweight. And the reinforced aluminum has another benefit as well, is the fact that when you hold this in your hand, because it's got that sort of flexibility to it, it just has a really comfortable feel. So it's really, really easy. You can throw this in a bag in the front pocket of a camera bag. You can even throw this in your pants if you need to, and it's just not gonna take up a lot of space. So the size and weight of this is really designed for portability and functionality, which is what you wanna do with any kind of like vlog pod like this. Another thing I really appreciated is the fact that if you look here, this is designed for professional applications in mind. There are actually a 1/4 inch point on each of the legs, like 1, 2, and 3/4 inch points, and there's one more 1/4 inch access point right here on the head that comes with this vlog pod. What this is really important is that a lot of times when you're doing vlog pods, you may want to have a attachment like a boom arm if you're getting people on behind the scenes stuff, or you may want to attach like a little light or something here just to up your game. And this is going to be really, really important because this is a thing that even though you're doing behind the scenes stuff and it's supposed to look authentic, it still has ways to up the quality. Good sound is never a bad thing. Having a nice little shape of light in there is always gonna be something that's important. So having the ability to mount up your vlog pod like that is gonna be really, really nice and really important. Now, I'm gonna put this down because the head here is worth looking at as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and take off my camera right here, just so you can see it. And what you're gonna notice, first off, I'm gonna pop this down, is that this starts off and it has just got a classic ball head. Now, you can basically do full 90-degree and get balance to make sure your tilt is off. Now, if you've ever used any ball head, you're gonna pretty much understand exactly how that works. It's the head here that's got another of couple cool innovations that are definitely worth pointing out. Now, if I put this down here, I can basically, there's a little lever right here on the ball head. If I pop that up, what you're gonna see now is that this opens up into a phone mount that's built right here into the tripod. What I like about this, I can sit there, I'm on the go, I can pop this up. I don't have to worry about if I brought a mount for my phone. It's just built into the tripod. I know that it's always with me. And then if I need to, I can pop it right off. And of course, you can pretty much put any phone on there, even with a case. You can also put action cams on here. This thing has more than enough space for action cams. But let's say you don't want to use this as a phone or action cam thing. You can also pop this out there. And if you look, there is actually a 1/4 inch screw built here into the mount itself. And all you gotta do is you gotta pop it out, you pop it, it pops out. And once you pop it out, you have a 1/4" screw that you can mount a camera of your choice to do that. And I've used this on R5s and stuff like that, or any kind of small mirrorless system. This thing can easily take that weight. So having the flexibility with an iPhone, an action cam, and a mirrorless mount all in once, you don't have to worry about the heads, you don't have to worry about anything like that. Just a really, really nice feature that is kind of what you wanna see in a vlogging pod, because one of the things about this is a tool that you just want to work. You don't want to think about it. You want to be able to pick it up and run and gun with it. And when you're talking about run and gun, you got to talk about what this thing feels like when you're walking around with it. So let's go outside and take a look at that. All right, now seeing as that this is the Freewell Vlogpod, you might as well spend a little bit of time walking with it as a vlog kind of support system and talk about where this thing, the strengths are, and if this is actually a really successful vlog pod per se, right? Now, one thing about this is that the design of this really honestly does feel really nice in your hands. It's reinforced aluminum, and this kind of snake-like design that they have gives you a really just good kind of ergonomic fit. And what I love about this thing is very, very light. So when you're walking around this, especially if you have something like an action cam, or if you have a phone, it just feels really just natural in your hand. It doesn't feel really that obnoxious to hold around. I have noticed some of the other vlogging things that I've used in the past, they do kind of have a situation where it gets uncomfortable after a while and do that, but I can easily switch this hand to hand, and I know that I'm gonna be in a good shape to kind of get whatever I need. It's a vlog pod, you gotta talk about comfort when you're using it, and I really do think that the comfort level of this is really, really nice when you're holding it. It just feels good in your hands. It's something you gotta talk about if you're talking about a vlog pod, right? Okay, so as you can see, this thing does have a lot of cool benefits built into this little vlog pod. There's also one other area that I kind of think exceeds the scope of what this thing is supposed to be, but is something you can absolutely use it for. And that has to do, when you look at these kind of aluminum serpentine arms, because you can spread them out so far, you can actually get a pretty wide base. And because of that, you can actually cheat the system. And I recently found myself on a shoot where I was in a tight situation. We were doing interviews, and I needed a hi-hat to get on a table where I couldn't place a tripod where I needed. And what happened is I was able to pop off the head of this right here. And if you look here, the head pops off. I got a conversion screw, and I was able to put a full-size, camera tripod head on there with a Canon R5C, with a monitor, and I was able to use this on the ground as a actual B camera hi-hat in my set. Now, of course, because I was exceeding the weight limitations of what you're supposed to do with this, I really had this thing maxed out, and I was just doing this really on the fly. But I wouldn't recommend doing this, if you're in a situation where you don't have a controlled environment, but in an interview situation where I had a controlled environment, I could put the camera up there, let it sit, and I really liked having that ability, even though I really technically did exceed what this thing's supposed to do. It's a really, really nice option knowing that I have that as an emergency option in my kit. Now, whenever I do a review, I always like to point out any rooms for improvement, just to let you know everything that I know about this, and just to make sure this could be right for you. And really, this thing really fits the bill, I think, mostly for a travel vlog pod. Its name does exactly what it says. It's comfortable, it's light, I can put it, I can hang it, I can do things that I need. The only thing that I would point out, just so you're completely aware, is that this does have a ball head, but just be aware, this thing is designed for you to use that ball head to get it put in a position and place you want, and then go and roll with it or shoot with it. It's not really designed as a fluid head to get like smooth tracking shots. I think that's pretty understandable if you're using a system like that, but just be aware, you're not gonna be getting like smooth pans and stuff from this type of head, just not what it's designed for. Not really a flaw, but it's just something to make sure you're aware of what the system is designed for. The only other thing I would make sure you're aware of, not really a flaw, but it is a design thing that you just need to be aware of, is this 1/4" screw here that comes in the system. When you come into this thing for the first time, it is popped down. So just be aware, you can try and screw it up and it's not coming. You do have to make sure that you pop it into place, then you'll have plenty of space to mount. And then when you want to put your phone and stuff back in there, you just need to make sure you pop it back down, it pops right back in, and you're good to go. Just be aware of that, not a design flaw. It's actually really nice that it does do that, but just be aware you have to pop it in and pop it off. Anyway, guys, so this is just a tool that I think if you put it in your kit, it's lightweight, it's super easy to use, it's just gonna make your life a lot better, give you options on a set, which is something you always want to show up with. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Leave me notes and comments down below. And yeah, go out there, keep on shooting. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.